In this lesson, we're going to look at how to create modules in Node.js so that you can create reusable code within your projects. So in the past few lessons, we've required packages from the npm repository along with some of the core Node modules included with the Node API. And when you're writing your own more complex projects, you'll want to create your own functions and objects that are shared between multiple parts of your program so that you don't repeat yourself and that you create some reusable code. So in this lesson, we'll just go through creating a very basic example of a module, and we'll make use of this technique in future lessons when we start making more complex projects. So I'm just going to create a basic project. And I've installed the chalk package, which we used in the previous lesson, as a dependency. So what we'll do is we'll create a simple file that extends the basic console.log functionality by adding some style with the chalk library. So here I've just created two functions that accept a parameter of message and then just call console.log and colour the message either red or green. So what we want to do with our module is basically make these two functions available to other parts of our program. And the way we do that is by exporting them from this file. And the syntax for that is to use a keyword of module and access a property on that called exports, and then assign that an object where the key is the name of the function we want to export and the value is the actual function itself. So because I call my functions error and success, I'm actually labeling the property of the exports exactly the same as the function name. So using the ES6 object shorthand, I could actually just remove those property names and create the object like this. So that's all you need to do to export functions from a file. To import those functions, we simply require this file from wherever we want to use it. Just notice that when I require the messages file, I don't need the .js extension, but I do need to put the relative path of where the file is stored. And because the messages.js file is in exactly the same folder as the program.js file that I've just created, I can reference the file just by saying ./messages. So let's actually just test this out by calling those functions. And you'll notice in Visual Studio Code, my IntelliSense actually tells me what functions are available on the messages module that I've imported. So as you can see in the output in the terminal, I can call the success and error functions from the messages object and pass in a string, and that gets sent to those functions that we defined in the other file. So if I was to create further JavaScript files within our project here, I could simply require the messages file again, and it would give me access to those two functions that we exported from messages.js. So that's pretty much all we need to do to actually create a module with some reusable code, which is most likely going to be some functions that can be reused in different places. And then when we want to use those functions, we simply require them in the file that they're going to be used. So although this is a simple example, hopefully you can see how useful that can be when your project starts to get larger, and we'll see this module pattern being used throughout the next few lessons as our projects get more complicated.